Hi, if you're new here, I'm Kimberly, a systems girl that works with a lot of photographers. So I've spent a ton of time working through and fine tuning this process just for you. Mini sessions can be a pain, especially automating them. With so many inquiries coming in and so much time manually spent coordinating all the different moving parts. So, what if you could have just one calendar up on your website or a link to send out easily, have people pay you to book their slot, and then automate the rest of the process from sending a confirmation, the contract, all the different pieces? Then this is for you. And the basics are start here. It works in 3 stages. First, you're going to create all your templates. Then you're going to create your workflows. Then you're going to start booking minis on autopilot. But be sure to do this in this order. Trust me, there is a method to this madness. To start off with, the details. Things you need to know before you can do the rest of the steps. Not a lot. The date of your mini sessions, the time blocks, how long each session would be, and any buffering time that you want in between. You want to create a project tag in Dubsado. Just call it minis. You want to create some project statuses. If you already have different versions of these, just use them. But some basics you want to have under your leads, you want to have one called mini abandon. Under your jobs, you want upcoming, editing, and delivered. Now we move on to forms. Easiest form creation you're ever going to do, you only need 2 forms. The first is a mini session lead capture to collect all the client's basic information and anything else you want to guarantee you get answers to prior to the session. You're not going to have a lot of other communication with them before the session. So you need to make sure you're getting everything you need. If there's going to be multiple people, if there's kids, ages, all that kind of stuff. You're going to want to make sure that this form triggers a workflow, but you'll come back and add this later. Also, make sure you set the lead title in the settings so that you know who is booking all these sessions, and keep the design simple since it will be embedded on your website. Your other form is going to be your mini session contract. Every time you hold a mini session date, you will need to update the mini session contract so that you can fill in the date and location specifics. Unfortunately, smart fields don't work for this process. And this contract will generally look a little different than your normal contract. Be sure to include any refund policies and stress the time constraints for mini sessions. That's your forms. Next is emails, obviously the foundation of your client experience. Make sure you include a greeting, a warm sign off, and as much of your voice in it as you can. The more information you include, the better. Your clients don't ever need to know this process is completely automated, and you only need 8 emails to write for this whole mini session booking and workflow. Diving into the emails. Number 1, it's your mini session booked, not follow-up email. Trust me, this is the right order. Mini O1A, and this is the format I use for all of my emails. I have the workflow that's going into, I number it, and a brief description of what is going to be, what the email content is. So this email can be something like, "Hi client, I see you started the process of booking a mini photo session, but you didn't finish. Are you still interested? If so, go ahead and book at the link below." The smart field to include will be a scheduler link, but we haven't created that link yet. So you're going to have to come back and add it to this email later. Number 2 is your mini session confirmation, mini O1 session confirmation. Something about, "Thanks for selecting your mini session time. You're almost fully booked. The next step is to sign your contract, which you'll be receiving in a separate email." You want to include all these smart fields, the mini session name, date, time, location, and the add to calendar link. Number 3 is send mini session contract. So mini O2, send contract. Be sure to impress the importance of this document so everyone is on the same page, and the only smart field you need is your contract link. And number 4 is your first reminder. Your mini session is in X amount of days. So this is going to be set 2, 3, 4, whatever days, however many days in advance you want the reminder to go out. You will have one the day before also, so this is just an extra reminder. And you can include any helpful information, so links to websites, things like that. Do not put prep material in Dubsado. You want that to be an evergreen hidden link on your website, and just put that link right in the email. And the only smart fields you want to include are the same ones from the confirmation: date, time, location, things like that. Number 5 is mini session reminder 2. This one's going out the day before. Something about your mini session is tomorrow. Remember to be a few minutes early. Sessions are booked back to back, so if you're late, your session will be shortened. Something like that. And again, include all the details from the confirmation email. Number 6 is your thank you and next steps. Something like, I had so much fun at your mini session today. As a reminder, you can expect to receive your photos, within X amount of weeks or days. Even if you don't hear from me, I'm working hard, something like that. Shouldn't need any smart fields for this one. Number 7 is going to be the image delivery. Something about, here's your gallery link. And you'll add that link later during the workflow, during the process. And then you always want to ask for a review after a service like this. So hopefully you have just a general email. If not, now's the time to make one. Just make it a general one. Don't necessarily link it to the minis because you can use this for all of your different services. I enjoyed working with you. Will you leave me a review? And include links to your Google page, Facebook, all of those different things. So those are your 8 emails. You need one scheduler. Obviously, you need to remember the date of your mini sessions, how long each session would be, and the buffer time. Create that when you first create the mini session scheduler, but name it something fun, but something that the client is going to know since they're adding this to their calendar. Christmas mini session with your business, something like that. Under the Advanced tab, the settings you want to have are the email to send is none. The confirmation email is going to be your mini session 01, the session confirmation. The attached form is going to be your lead capture that you created. Under invoice is going to be the full price of the mini session. Give a brief description of what the mini session includes in there. And then your reminder emails. So number 1 goes out X amount of days, and your day before reminder goes out the day before or 24 hours, however you want to do that. You also want to create a payment schedule with just one payment for the full amount of your session. You should do a fixed amount rather than a percentage. I know it doesn't seem necessary, but it is. You don't need to have reminders connected to this. Now that you've created all that, go back into your Mini 01 Mini Not Booked email and add that scheduler link into that smart field. Next step, the fun part. You get to start building your workflows. So the first workflow you're going to create is Mini Session Part 2. Yes, you need to create Part 2 first. Very important. You're going to start this with a project status change right after the workflow started. Make it the upcoming status. You're going to add the mini tag right after the workflow started. Next, you're going to send the contract. I always give a slight buffer when I do things like this. You want this to go 0.25, 15 minutes after the workflow started. And the form is going to be the mini session contract, and the email is obviously mini number 2 to send the mini session contract. Next, a to-do, 0 hours after previous items are complete, assign yourself. The content is the client name, mini session complete. You're going to change the project status, 0 hours after the previous items are complete, to editing. Next is send an email, 0.25 hours after the previous items are complete. You're sending mini number 3, the next steps email. Next in the workflow is another to-do, 0 hours after the previous items are complete, assign yourself. The content is the client name. You're going to deliver final gallery using the email mini number 4. So this is your reminder to go in and put the link for their gallery in their delivery email. Next, you're going to change the project status after the previous items are complete to delivered. And then you're going to send the email 0 hours after the previous items are complete for your review request. So this is part 2, and this is the main part of the actual process. The next workflow is how you keep the reminders going and keep the process moving along. So this is going to be mini session part 1. You're going to change the project status 1 day after the workflow started to mini abandoned. You're going to send an email 1 day after the workflow started, and this is the booking follow-up. The scheduler will be the mini session scheduler to make sure you include the link and that email. Next, and trust me on this, the next step is archive project 0 hours after previous items are complete. This step is necessary to ensure that you don't have two active projects for the same client if they do rebook after sending the email above. Okay? Next action item is to start a workflow 0 hours after the invoice is paid in full. The workflow is mini session part 2. And then the next step is to pause the workflow 0 hours after the invoice is paid in full. This step ensures that the steps above do not fire if they go ahead and book, so your booked clients don't receive the follow-up. For this workflow, make sure you attach that payment schedule that we created. Now your workflow is looking for that payment. All right? Now go back to that lead capture form and add the workflow trigger for part 1 to the lead capture form. That way that workflow gets triggered as soon as they get that completed. Ready, set, launch. Embed the scheduler on your desired page or your website, or you can just share the link publicly to the scheduler if you don't have one. And that's it. Step-by-step guide to everything you need to use Dubsado for mini sessions. This process will take almost all the stress out of doing mini sessions so that all you have to do is show up and do what you do best. Take some beautiful photos. Want to keep learning about all the ways to make your business more streamlined? Make sure you hit that follow button below. So if you're ready to transform your mini sessions into a streamlined experience, click the link below to get your own copy of this checklist. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks to elevate your photography business.